Hey everybody, thanks for coming back and joining us. We're really excited about this is part 3 of a 3-part series on decorative casting for kids. This is the one we've really been saving the best for last. This particular video, we're going to go ahead and do decorative casting for kids. The final stage is how to apply prints, printed fiberglass to a cast to make it look nice for the kids, or if you have some adults that want to do it as well. There are different versions. I'll come in close so you can see. There's the tie-dye camo or tie-dye print. There's the green camo. There is also pink camo, and believe it or not, I'll show you some other one here in a minute. There's a white-based print patterns like the paw prints. If you come around this way, some other versions of these, you have a white-based dinosaur print. This is actually the same thing here. This is, if you go around searching around online, you can find there's blue camo if you want to search that out and find it on the different sites. And there's even seasonal cast patterns. This one, there's 2 versions of this. There's the blue one with the snowmen and the snowflakes, and there's a green version with Christmas trees on it. So when you're doing the casting, you do everything the same as we've done in all the videos prior. You have the stockinette, you have the cotton, you have the white base, which is what we use on most of the casting, and then we put the colors on top. Just some real quick little tricks. If you're gonna roll pink camo, let me find it here real quick. If you're gonna roll pink camo and you're trying for whatever reason to kind of salvage your white 2-inch or 3-inch cast tape, you can put pink. If you have an abundance of pink, you can put the pink on the arm first, or wherever you're putting the leg or whatever, and then you can lay the pink camo on top, and it looks really nice. Same thing goes for the green camo. You can take the green camo, and if for whatever reason you don't have a lot of white to put underneath, you can use the green underneath instead, and it works out very nicely, and so on and so forth. The same thing can be said about the tie-dye. You can use a pink under the tie-dye, you can use a blue or a white. All of these will work just fine, or even a red if you wanted. You can use a red. And then the same thing with the seasonal. The Christmas tree one, you can use white, or you can of course use blue underneath it, and so on and so forth. That'll save you from going through a lot of white. And of course, typically speaking, you don't carry a lot of prints on hand. So since you don't have a lot of prints on hand, you want to try to just use them more in a decorative manner than an actual casting manner. So we'll go ahead and get into that now. I'm going to get some stockinette and some cotton, and we're going to get started. All right, you guys, so we're going to time lapse all of this. We're going to zip through this super fast because you guys have seen this in multiple other videos on this channel. So we'll go ahead and just skip through all this stuff that you've seen multiple times. So you wet the material like we always do. You start off, in this particular case, we're going to make, in our head, we're going to make a pink cast. We're going to make a white base with a pink top layer. But what we're going to do is we're going to add the bonus feature at the very end. So we'll time lapse through this next. So what you have is your basic standard short arm cast with a white fiberglass base and a pink top layer. You've got 2 full passes up and down of the white and the pink. So textbook wise, we have a standard cast now. But say you have a kid and they've had a really hard go of things, they had a tough surgery, or maybe it's their birthday, or maybe you just, I don't know, maybe they just hit your heartstrings the right way and you want to do something extra for them. You want to do a little bonus for them or whatnot. You bust out the material, the print, bust it out, and you wet it over in the bucket. You just put a top layer on, just like you did everything else. You don't have to put a lot on there to make it look really, really nice. You just have to be a little creative. And like I said a second ago when I was introducing you to all the materials, I put pink under here so that if there's any of the edges showing, the pink ties in with the tie-dye, or the pink camo, excuse me. And it just works really nicely. It works just as well as the white. And because I've already made the cast, I can be decorative with this. I don't have to do a half overlap every time with this material. The cast is already made. So I can do full wide turns, edge to edge, and make the cast look really, really nice camo print without it overlapping too closely. And it ends up looking really cool, you guys. I mean, it looks really cool. And I know you're gonna think I'm crazy, but this pink camo, it's just as popular with the guys as it is with the girls. It's just one of those prints that looks really, really nice. And you can see here, when I'm all done, I used maybe about 2/3 of it, and it came out super nice. You didn't make it overly thick or overly heavy. And of course, when we go to remove the cast, it won't be more challenging because you just really only added one extra layer. We can call it an overwrap if you want to call it an overwrap. And of course, you lube it, you put some water, some Surgy lube on it, lube it all down, shape it. And if for whatever reason you want to like really, really take it over the top, you go get yourself some glitter glue or something and smear some glitter glue on there and sparkle it up and just really go crazy with it. The edges are soft, the cast is hard, you have your standard cast, but very, very decorative, very nice. And we'll move on to the next pattern after that. So as you guys are rejoining me now on this other arm, you're noticing that I've already completed the first part of the cast, the white base. I've actually started on this section because I want to go over a couple things that are kind of important with the other prints without wasting too much of your viewing time. The prints that are white based, they're white and then they have the pattern, like in this case the soccer player, or this case the paw prints. You have to use a white base and you have to do at least 2 layers of cast like we did a second ago with that pink camo. You have to create the whole cast and you have to make the whole cast white, because any other color will show through, of course, will show through the white and it won't look right. The other thing too, and this is important, you have to make the entire cast white and you have to do the 2 rolls of white first and actually create the cast and use this as a decorative layer. We know it's going to reinforce one layer as well, but you have to use it as a decorative layer because when you put it on, you have to put it on border to border. As you're making your turns, you have to go border to border, because if you overlap too much, you'll be able to see through the white. And the prints like the soccer players, the paw prints, the dinosaurs, if you lay them on top of themselves, you'll be able to see what you laid down. So you're literally laying it down as close to the edge as possible, so that as you lay it down, it looks nice and it doesn't look messy. For lack of a better word, it doesn't look messy. It looks very professional. And on that same note, when you're doing the flag pattern or the stars and stripe pattern, when you're rolling the stars and stripes, you want to match the white border to the white border. So as you're laying it on and you're overlapping, you want to lay it down. You know what? I'll just show you. Oh, thank you very much. You want to lay it down white border to white border. And so as you're coming around, lay it on top of itself nice and uniform so it looks like you know what you're doing. And then on the inside where nobody can see, you do your slant. And you come back over and look what we just did. White border to white border, and look how nice and uniform this is gonna look. Do your slant on the inside. The only person that sees the slant is him. And on the outside, as he's walking around town, he's in the grocery store, whatever he's doing, Look how nice that looks. It literally looks like, you know, like the 4th of July kind of a thing going on. It's really cool, very patriotic. And then when you get over here, you can get a little bit more creative and do some folds, and you can cut and you can do whatever you want to make it look really nice. Like you want to do something like this where you have just the stars showing. You can do it like that. You can kind of fold it in and you can kind of do something like that. I mean, you can get, and then when you get to the thumb fold, you can go down to 1 row of stars, and you can really make it look really, really cool, you guys. This is the stars and stripe pattern. Turn a little bit this way for me. Thank you, sir. Again, soft edges, nice hard cast underneath. You're doing a really, really cool organized pattern here. This is very, very popular, boys, girls, teens, adults. And again, same thing. You get a girl who puts this on, it doesn't have to be a girl, it can be anybody. They want to really, really spruce it up. You put some sparkles on there and you got 4th of July fireworks all day long. So again, this is another version of that. Let me get rid of this here real quick, and then I'm going to talk about one last thing. Done. We'll let that just kind of sit there while I hold your hand for a minute. I want to close by saying thank you to you all. We had a milestone this week. We hit 1,000 subscribers, and I'm very, very pleased. I'm very honored and humbled that you guys are enjoying the channel and you're finding the videos useful. And on that note, the next upcoming videos to look out for. Recently, we did a video, a coaptation splint. And about a day or two later, we did a video on a Sarmiento brace. And I got some messages about how we did 2 items pertaining to a humeral fracture, but we did not do a hanging long arm cast. So in the near future, look for a video on a hanging long arm cast. And then the other one too is I've had a couple people reach out to me, and they've gone through some of the older videos and they've seen some of the videos we did with club feet. And I've had some people reach out and ask if we could do a video on how ortho techs or nurses or whatever, MAs, how they hold for the provider when the provider's doing clubfoot serial casting. So look for those 2 videos in the near future, and thanks again for joining us. And